Helping you find great things to see and do in the Greater Blue Mountains, this is the Ask Ros Blue Mountains podcast.
Welcome to episode 13 of the Ask Ros Blue Mountains podcast. It's hard to imagine that it's almost 50 years since the first moon landing. To learn more about a unique local celebration, I speak with Miriam Williamson, the producer of Fly Me to the Moon, a community event celebrating the landing. I kick things off by asking Miriam, what gave you the idea for Fly Me to the Moon?
Well, I remember the original broadcast of the moon landing and how important that was at the time. And I wanted to sort of just remind people that were little kids at the time and younger generations of what an achievement that was. Now we're surrounded by modern technology. Back then, that was so progressive. Like the science behind that was futuristic almost. Like they literally did go up in a tin can. It was the very early days of space flight. So I think for that reason, I think it was worth celebrating and commemorating. And here in the mountains, we have this unique historic observatory. And it seemed like the ideal occasion to bring the community together and look up to the moon.
It's a great idea. Now, I should tell everyone that Fly Me to the Moon celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing back in July 1969. And it'll be held, this event will be held at the Linden Observatory. Now, what is the actual date, Australian date, for the landing?
The landing was actually on July the 20th, but our event is being held on the 13th of July because a lot of astrophysicists and various people have other commitments and there are good documentaries on TV. So I didn't want to bump up against those. But as you know, Australia played quite a big role in the moon landing as it was the Honeysuckle Creek and the Parkes dish that actually picked up the broadcast when the Apollo went behind the moon.
Now what you're doing, which I think is really exciting, is you've thought outside the box. You're not just doing a little gathering to say, let's commemorate something. You're doing a sing-along, or I think you call it a sing-up.
Yeah, look, I wasn't quite sure what to call it. It's sort of, in some places it's called a pub choir or a mob choir, but I think because of the space theme and the moon, and there'll be projections on the dome and we'll be viewing the moon, that it was more of a look up and sing up. So I came up with that phrase. And I have held one there previously. It was called Space Oddity, and it was when David Bowie passed away. And at very short notice, we just gathered with a guitarist who led a crowd in song, and there were about 150 people, and we all sang Space Oddity together.
My goodness. I love the phrasing you have on your Facebook page. That's gather under the winter night sky, a community sing up to songs celebrating the night sky and all within it.
That was because when I was going through the song list, there are only so many songs specifically about the moon, but there are other fantastic songs like Under the Milky Way by the Church, and then there are others about spaceships and various things. So I suppose it was to broaden the theme. And also July is the time of the dark emu, of course, the Aboriginal constellation as it comes over the sky. So I didn't want to just lock it in to the moon. So, yeah, it was sort of more of a celebration, not only of the landing on the moon and sort of human endeavour, but of the beauty of the universe as well.
Now, in addition to your sing-up, what else will be happening on the night?
Well, we have the original broadcast. We'll be playing through the sound system of Houston, talking to the Eagle as the module goes to land. And after that has landed, we then start off with the Blue Mountains Bagpipe Band, which is two people, I'd like to add.
Is that right?
And then they'll launch into the theme from Star Wars. And then after that, we move across to the choir, and starting with Fly Me to the Moon, which is a performance. Then we go into Catch a Falling Star, and the choir director, Claire Richards from the Joan, will encourage the kids to gather around, and sparklers are welcome, and lead the kids in song on that one. And then there's Rocket Man, Elton John's Rocket Man, which again is for the whole community to sing along to. And then the Beatles Across the Universe. And that's all with a piano accompanist. And then we go across to Alex Riccello, a local musician who's going to lead everybody on the guitar into Space Oddity. So, and while that's going on, there'll be projections of NASA images and old film footage projected onto the dome. And then a performance by Brendan Smiley, who's a senior lecturer in music at the University of Western Sydney. And he'll be doing like an instrumental sort of space soundscape.
My goodness, you've got it organised.
I do.
and some good people there too.
I do. And as well, I should say, we'll have 3 big braziers of log fires and a sausage sizzle run by the Linden RFS. And so visually it will be quite interesting as well, and sort of blue light lighting up the field, and 2 telescopes.
The telescopes will be in use?
Yes, not the telescope in the dome, that's an historic piece, but 2 quite large telescopes pointed to the moon that anybody can come up and have a look at.
Wonderful. Now, the cost is $10 for adults, and children and residents of Linden are free.
That's right.
And you do need to book, so I'd suggest everyone looks up the Facebook page, or alternatively on the Ask Ros Facebook page, you'll find it there. Alternatively in the notes for this podcast, so make your booking. Another important thing is I notice you've got no parking on site, so people need to make some arrangement there.
Yes, look, I guess that's one issue with the observatory. It's out on a sort of rocky plateau, obviously for the dark sky, viewing. And so the streets of Linden are quite narrow, and there's a very limited area on site that I've allocated for disability parking and people who have to bring equipment in. But with previous events, we've not had an issue. There are plenty of streets around there, and you just walk on down. It is in a bushy setting, like I said, which adds to its beauty, really.
Of course it does.
If you've got your mobile phone, have your torch with you for when you're leaving. And I've letterboxed all the Linden residents. They're aware, but I would ask people to be really mindful of not parking across driveways, and just when they're leaving, just to leave quietly.
Yes, don't get carried away.
No, that's right.
Now,
no bagpipes after 8 p.m.
Yes, the whole band could be doing something. Now, as a reminder for everybody, it's Saturday the 13th of July at 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Linden Observatory. And it sounds like a wonderful night, Miriam, and I do appreciate your time, and have a great time.
Yeah, thank you, Graham. Thank you for interviewing me.
Well, that's it for episode 13. Be sure to check out the Ask Ros website at askros.com.au and our Facebook page, Ask Ros Blue Mountains. Thanks for listening.